All right, back again. Actual Proper Podcast with your hosts Reece, Farkash, and Twila Amato. We actually just launched previous episode. We had a long episode, so eventually, like throughout the week, we decided that let's just add the stuff we caught into a bonus episode. So that went up just a couple of days ago. I hope you like it. But we're back early. That's like another 1.5 times the content for that week.
Bonus episodes.
Yeah, look at that. No Patreon and bonus episodes. We're so giving. But in reality, we just talk too much.
I
Classic.
think that's what it is. Radio broadcasters, am I right?
Yeah, speaking of, a lot of people don't really know what's going on in radio. What would you say is one of the craziest things you have to deal with in your job so far?
I think being a news reporter for the radio, you have a lot of weird stories that you encounter. Actually, just this week, there was a thing that happened with the RCMP where the detachment here, they received a weird or suspicious radio transmission. And basically, the message was just help my dad, help my dad. And
oh, that's so creepy.
It's just
Yikes.
So because we weren't sent an audio recording of this, it was just literally a straight up news release. It's really hard to know how the tone was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was the girl actually creepy in this situation? I don't know. And so literally my first reaction to it was just is this some kind of haunted possession thing?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Or are aliens at play here?
Ooh.
I feel like that was the most prevailing thought I had was just oh my goodness, aliens are coming. And then because in the news release too though, they said, oh, he's the boss. And I'm just the boss of what?
The daddy is the boss?
Yeah. It's just are you a mafia boss? I don't know that.
Yeah.
And you just don't know.
So
And
how did this girl get in contact with
no one really knows. So basically they were saying in the release, the theory was that it was from a repeater because when they traced the transmission back, it seemed like it was from a really wide area, around Mount Washington or something like this.
So this was on the police scanner or something. How did they hear the audio?
So yeah,
was it a
so
phone
the
call?
police,
Was it
right? So the police, because they do have scanners themselves, right?
Mhm.
So they received it from that from I guess into their scanners.
Yeah.
And then actually a local communications company here in town, they also were monitoring that radio channel to see if there was anything more, if they needed help, if this little girl
Yikes.
actually did need help. So anyway, they did another release actually, and so the police said, yeah, no, we identified them, they're fine, and there was no other information.
Yeah. What
other
was
than
the
that.
cause? Did they release the cause?
No, that's the thing, and because it's the weekend, and we live in a smaller town.
In
the
a
police,
huge, we cover a huge area.
yeah,
too, for the North Island.
well, no. What I mean is, I called them and
Yeah.
the police weren't there to answer my
Yeah.
questions, So it's kind of just okay, well, I still don't know. I'm still in suspense, and I feel like that's still really weird to me. Okay, good that aliens are not in the picture. Good that this isn't some haunted situation, and good, that obviously no one's in danger, but this is really suspicious and this is really, really weird. And I'm not at all, I guess, I'm not at all at peace, even when I saw that release and they were yeah, everything's fine and the girl is okay,
Yeah.
her dad's okay. So it's kind of just
Dude, we need more answers. Come on.
I know, I need all the
Ah.
answers. But yeah, that is definitely one of the weird things. Well, I guess the weird things that I encounter at work. There are many other weird stories I encounter at work because that's just reporting. I guess that's just news. There's just a lot of weird things that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the weird things for me. What about you?
I don't know. I think this is less about broadcasting and more just our work here in general because our station is honestly in a really bad part of town. So there's always really sketchy people everywhere.
Mhm.
And especially they've taken a liking to camping out right outside the doors. So it's they're like 2 feet away from the doors, and there'll be like 10 of them there at like any given moment throughout the day. So it's super sketchy. And sometimes they decide to come inside, and of course, there's only like 2 of us like actually like available at one certain time. Everyone else has their doors closed, they're busy. So there's 2 of us like outside, and then like we have to like deal with these people, and it's just like every single time, it's just really, it's awkward for sure, but it's more just like you're having a conversation with someone, but you're also feeling out what their like motive is, because
that's
like
true, yeah.
for a lot of them, the people who come in here are very unpredictable. If
Right.
Of course, if they're not like prize winners or like have business here, it's always like, why are you coming into a radio station? And typically we get a lot of weirdos for sure.
Yeah.
More than most businesses for sure. About like, I'd say like 1 or 2 a week. And usually we can deal with it pretty quickly. But I think that's like some of the weirdest situations I have, because they always have like really fanciful stories, and it's just pretty odd.
I have to admit, I'm really grateful that I have my own little office in the station, just because I'm not out there actually having to deal with them. And I say that because I'm a lot smaller than a lot of people, like the general population of Campbell River. I'm just a lot smaller than everybody.
You're a very tiny person.
And so it's just, it's, I guess, obviously, since they're taller, they're burlier, they're bigger than me, like, I just would not be able to defend myself if it does come down to that. And I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is like that, but that's definitely one of the things that scare me the most is,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like you said, they're unpredictable, and you just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, a lot of the times they're either like drunk or on drugs, and it's just like, that's just the huge unpredictability of it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know
and
what
they just
to do.
scream like right outside our doors just all the time. So it's always like a little tense.
They do. Actually, a funny story. I was recording a newscast earlier today, and someone passed by and was just like cussing another person out, like just right by the station, and I can hear it. And so I had to stop recording because they were screaming so loud that it was actually like getting recorded into a newscast. So I was just like, oh man.
Yeah. Campbell River things. Classic North Island.
No, but I'm just like, well, we don't want that on the radio. Well, yeah, no. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that's one of the things is because like I'm just a lot smaller than a lot of people. So and it's kind of scary.
Yeah. You should just be like shut in the back of the office where no one can ever... where you can be protected, honestly. But
bubble wrap.
Speaking of like really weird situations, like I had these like really couple weird dreams last night, and it just like I don't usually dream like ever, and if I do, they like I will forget them within like 5 minutes of me waking up. But like these dreams, for whatever reason, they were really vivid, and they just like stuck with me, and I don't know why. Are you someone that like dreams like a lot, like frequently?
Okay, first of all,
that's like unimaginable. Like I can't even like imagine what that's like.
To always dream?
Yeah.
You're missing out.
It must be like so stressful. Like when do you relax?
No, I think it depends on the dreams that you have, because yes, to answer the question, I do dream quite a bit, but I have to ask, like, did you have like a really late supper last night? Is that why you dreamt like weird things or vividly? Because I know for myself, and I don't know if this is just like an old wives' tale or whatever, but I know that if I have, I guess, something to eat right before I go to bed, that's when my dreams are the weirdest one, but also the most vivid, and that I actually remember them in full detail the next morning. And so I remember one time I ate like quite a bit of chocolate before going to bed. It was not a good time because, so I ate quite a bit of chocolate. And this was actually, I don't know if you remember, but I talked to you about a dream I had before, and you were actually in it.
Okay.
And our friend Caitlin was in it. And we all went to the same high school together. But for some reason, Caitlin was a football player.
Oh, right. I love this dream so much. It's so bizarre.
It was so weird because...
And wasn't I like a hipster?
Yes, you were a hipster.
I mean, that's not too far off.
Yeah, that's true. You are wearing a cardigan.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
No, and then I was, for some reason, like, I was just like your normal run-of-the-mill, like, high school student, and I was actually dorkier than the both of you. But for some reason, we all were friends, and we all hung out at lunch But like, I remember in the dream, we went to Caitlin's game. And it was just like the weirdest.
Are you sure this wasn't like this sounds like the plot of an anime for sure.
I mean, maybe. I have no idea. It's like Body Snatchers or something. But just like, it was so weird. And I woke up, I remember feeling just like so weirded out by this dream because like it was so vivid and it felt so real. But I knew that it wasn't real. But it was just like the details were all there. And like even you guys' voices like were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like it's so strange. Like Caitlin was a football player.
Caitlin is the most un-football player person
I know,
that we know for sure.
That is why that's what tipped me off that it was a dream. That I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely hallucinating this, and it was the chocolates. Like most definitely.
I do gotta say, like, sleeping has been incredible here the past like little while because of the polar vortex. Everything's been really cold, and like
oh yeah,
you don't really get a lot of chances to like get like a pile in like a lot of blankets and just
And
be like
so comfortable.
yeah, so like snoodled up like in the
Yeah.
nighttime here.
Yeah.
That like that's what's been really nice. Like when it gets like cold, it gets like -4 sometimes overnight here, and it's like just pile on all the blankets and like you're like
Yeah.
freezing, but it's just so nice.
Yeah, and you're a burrito, and
Yeah.
that's just so
Those are
nice. I
so
love it so
comfortable.
much. Yeah, I love it so much. But I have to say that when it's still really cold in the mornings, it makes it very challenging to actually get out of my blanket cave. You know what I mean?
100%. There's also like all the weight like weighing you down. So like,
Yeah.
how much do I have to fight in the morning to get up? I might as well just like stay in bed, you know?
But I can't.
Yeah.
Gotta adult. Unfortunately, gotta adult at some point.
Yeah, but so this polar vortex is ending.
It's finally ending.
Yeah, final. Like we were supposed to get snow the past couple days. Didn't, thank goodness.
Well, it was hailing earlier.
It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
For sure. It definitely didn't stick around, but
Mhm.
now that we're like in the end of it, like what are you excited for when summer comes?
Myself.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have to admit, personally, not a lot. And this is mostly because I hate the heat. I don't like sweating.
Mhm.
And I just don't appreciate the heat. And you've mentioned it before, you know, like when it's cold outside, you get to snoodle up inside and, you know,
Mhm.
obviously just be warm and, you know, be comfortable. You don't get to do that in the summer. Also, like, I'm a big fan of sweaters and just huge like tops. I can't do that in the summer, you know?
Mhm.
And I guess you just can't wear as many layers in the summer, which like I absolutely love layers, but you can't do that in the summer because then you'd melt. So yeah, I don't know, like I just am not a summer person. And like a warm weather person, I'm just not all those things. I mean, maybe like I think I'm looking forward to obviously like going out more, like going hiking and taking like pictures. That is always exciting. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's really not a whole lot that I'm looking forward to. I know you're looking forward to a lot of things
Well,
though.
the one thing that I really hate about summer, like being trapped on the couch, like I don't have AC in my apartment. I haven't had AC in an apartment for like ever. I've never had AC in like a house or apartment. So it's like you're always like trapped like wherever your fan can point to and you can't leave. Or
I
else
hate
it's like-
that.
yeah. Ooh, it's the
Because
worst.
you melt. And then the thing is, sometimes you get out of the shower and you're already sweating.
Right?
It's the worst.
Especially because it's so humid here. that
Yeah.
It's just like you're always just like
It's so
sweating.
gross.
It's
I hate
crazy.
it. I hate it.
Also, it's like a huge forest in town, and there's a lot of foliage in town. And like when the
Mm.
summer comes, everything browns and goes like it turns into like a completely different city. Honestly,
Yeah, that doesn't sound pretty. And then to
No.
top it all off, I think forest fires are going to be a thing again.
oh yeah, as classic, like those are something that will never go away.
Yeah, so
Like,
I'm not looking
name a
forward to
more iconic duo than like BC and forest fires.
that. I'll wait. Okay, no. But what are you looking forward to in the summer?
Huge events for me. Not just because like the nature of our work, but also because like just like community events. If you have no obligation to be there, you can kind of just do whatever you want and kind of make the most of it for yourself.
That's true.
And that's what I really like is just being there, not necessarily for very long, but just for a quick experience of just a lot of people in one area all having fun. And you definitely, for me at least, you fall into the crowd where it's like that's where you're most invisible is when there's a ton of people around. And if you're just like, say, if you're like by yourself walking down the street, that's like way more vulnerable, at least to me. But like when there's a lot of people, then it feels like there's no eyes on you.
I guess, yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you're in a crowd.
And yeah, just the general, I guess, like uplifting, like everyone having fun, like definitely rubs off on you.
Right, yeah, the vibe. You
also,
kind
just
of absorb
anything
it.
to do here in town, honestly. That's so appreciated. Above all else, that's like the number one.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a summer town. That's what it is.
Oh, 100%. There's like tourists, there's a ton of events here, and live music is crazy. And yeah, I guess that's what I'm most excited for.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's also a thing. I do remember, actually, I guess 2 summers ago now or so, like, I was working at a radio station, and I was the cruiser, and we had a remote at the Vancouver Folk Fest, and it was so chill, but it was also really, really fun because it's this family, kind of like family-friendly music fest. And it was really cool, I guess, because one, folk is my kind of music, like indie folk is my kind of music. Thank you. Thank you. But also, it's just like, I guess I see what you mean with the whole, like, you know, a crowd of people and just like people having fun, and you kind of absorb that. And it's really fun that way and uplifting, I guess. So I see that, but I have to admit that I'm not a big music fest person anyway.
So speaking of your past jobs as a cruiser, and you've talked about a bit of like new stuff, weird things you had to do in the job recently. If like you went back to a kid, what did you want to be as a kid? What do you want to grow up to be? Because I have a sneaking suspicion you didn't want to grow up and be a journalist.
There were many, many things that I wanted to be as a kid, actually. I really wanted to be a teacher. And actually, so that was the intent when I went to university, was to eventually be either a professor or a teacher or a researcher. Many ors. So yeah, I really wanted to be a teacher. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to be. I also really wanted to be a firefighter. And then
Really?
Yeah, I really wanted to be a firefighter, and then I really wanted to be a police officer. But if you think about it, I just can't. I'm like the weakest person.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, like a coordinator for sure. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, no, but I wanted to be a firefighter. That was one of the biggest things that I really wanted to be.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure you would have figured out how. You would have like hit the gym like 10 out of 7 days a week for sure.
Right, but I mean, sure, I can maybe like bulk up, but like I can't help the height.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
you can't exercise heights.
No, and that's unfortunate. I can't get myself taller, you know? So that's just not going to work. But yeah, I wanted to be a firefighter. That was one of the biggest things. And then, like I said, yeah, I wanted to be a teacher. And then at some point I actually like had in my mind that I wanted to be a reporter. So I guess that stuck. That ended up like sticking, and now I'm here. So I don't know, like it's been a weird path, you know?
Yeah.
Getting to where I am. It's been kind of like a crazy ride. So
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always either wanted to be an inventor and just make things. So I'm pretty like I don't know, I'm pretty crafty. Not crafty, but buildy, I guess. I just like making things. But I also really, 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 and this is gonna sound so dorky, so don't judge.
I'm not judging, trust me.
One of those people who like build the Lego sets and then like ship them out, like design them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was the most rad thing ever. Those are like my heroes, essentially. Like when I was a kid, like seeing in the magazines, like the people who like made the that was like their job was to like make the Legos. That was like all I wanted to do.
You've always been a creative. Then.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I just transitioned from more like my hands to just more ideas and
talking.
Yeah.
And now you just can't stop talking.
And now we go for like 20 minutes at a time. Like, and we have to like cut episodes, make bonus episodes just because we have too much content, you know?
Because you talk too much, Reece.
It's a mess. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for today's episode. It flew by. Holy man.
Did it really?
Yeah, it's been a while, but we'll catch you in a while, Crocodile.
No, you did not say that.
Bye.
Bye.